Welcome. Today I'm going to take you through a very short but powerful Yogilates practice. Now Yogilates is a blend of both Pilates and yoga together, and for this practice you're going to need a mat, a blanket or a towel. You're also going to need some props. It can be, I'm going to use a block and also recommend using a bolster or a blanket for your practice. So let's get started. To begin with, you're just going to use your own body weight from a seated position. All I'd like you to do is very gently C-curve the spine and gently roll your body back towards your mat. So you'll start in what I call neutral spine position. So neutral spine means that you have your head, your neck and your shoulders, arms outstretched, feet flat, knees bent, and you will raise both your arms on your breath in. Inhale, exhale, breathe in, long breath out, take the arms up, breath in, take a long breath out, 2 more, breath out. So it's always about focusing on that breath out. Get rid of, release that old stale air out of your body. Lift your legs up, tabletop position, squeeze your heels together. So the knees stacked over the hips, the shins towards the ceiling. Tap the right leg, 2 toe taps, back to center, left leg, 2 toe taps. So again, I'm going to focus on the breath, move the legs away, one at a time. One leg stays still, one leg moves. When the leg moves away, we're maintaining stillness through the lower back and stillness of the pelvis. Now that leg doesn't have to go all the way to the floor, it could just go halfway down. Keep bracing the core, drawing your belly, your rib cage back towards your spine. Last one here. Again, squeeze the heels together and lower the feet to the floor. Raise the arms up, but shrug the shoulders back into the mat. Move the arms in 2 different directions. Breathing in, breathing out. So we want to move the arms slowly. Move them in 2 different directions. One arm reaches just outside of your ear, and one arm reaches just outside of your hip. Keep the flow, breathing in, breathing out. Let's go for one more round. When you bring your arms back to center, this is where you started, you can lower the arms all the way down. Inhale, prepare. Curl your head, neck and shoulders off the mat as you lift to the tips of the shoulder blades. Inhale, lower. Breathe out. So you're lowering, breathing in, and you're exhaling, curling over your breastbone. So again, as you nod the chin towards the chest and deepen the curl, the crease over your breastbone, you physically want to press down through your rib cage, your belly, and an inch below. Let's go for 2 more. 1 more. So what you should feel is the rib cage is actually physically moving closer to your hip line, the front of the body shortens. Now once I've lowered the head, I'll bring those legs back up to tabletop position. Again, squeeze your heels to touch. This time I want to move both legs in opposite directions. One is pulling towards you, one is pushing away. So it's a push-pull, toe taps, slowly does it. Again, the foot doesn't have to go all the way to the floor. Just keep that flow, focusing on your breath out. 2 more. 1 more. Hold the legs still, and once again, lower the feet. So changing the arm pattern, this time I want you to raise your arms up on your breath in, circle them around as you breathe out. As you circle the arms around, you will curl your head, neck and shoulders off the mat. So your arms go up as you lower to the mat, the arms circle as you curl head, neck and shoulders off the mat. Breath in, Breath out. Inhale, return. Exhale, deepen the curl, the crease over your breastbone. Last one. Full breath out. Little pause. So I'm going to maintain my Pilates curl. Lift the legs to tabletop position. Squeeze the heels together. And then lower the head, neck and shoulders. And little pause. So feet together in tabletop position. Engaging the feet, maybe even flexing the feet. So we go back to that first variation. 2 toe taps. 1, 2, change. 2 toe taps, brace the core. So the head, neck and shoulders may be on the mat, but I'm still working the core by maintaining stillness, neutral spine position. So focusing on the movement. So we strengthen the engagement to the legs, into the hips. We'll go for one more round. Tap, tap, back to center. Last one here. And then you can lower those feet to the ground. So let's add on a few movements here. Raise the arms on a breath in. Circle the arms as you curl the head, neck and shoulders off the mat. Lift to the tips of your shoulder blade. Lift the legs to tabletop position. Brace the core. Add on your toe tapping. So this time moving both legs. So I'm maintaining that Pilates curl. Keeping the legs flowing, breathing in. 5, breath out. 4, 3, last 2. Final 1, hold the legs still, lower the head and lower your feet. Nice. Now we're going to make that a little bit more dynamic this time. Inhale to prepare. Breathe out. Lift the legs. But this time I want to draw one leg in and stretch one out long. So single straight leg, switch change. Now let's keep this flowing. So pumping the legs in and away from the body while maintaining your Pilates curl. Pressing the belly to the spine, focusing on your breath out. So keeping the legs pumping, getting the heart rate up. Last 2, final 1. Hold those legs still. Lower the head. And lower your feet. Inhale. Exhale. Come up into your Pilates curl. Now if I bring the legs to tabletop position, what I'd like you to do is almost bring the knees a little closer to your forehead. Reach the hands about halfway down the shin. And you will move the arms and the legs away while keeping the head, neck and shoulders elevated and lifted off the mat. So pressing down through the center of the body as the arms and the legs extend away. Let's try that again. Squeeze the heels to touch here. Open, stretch, exhale, close. So you're reaching the legs out long, squeezing the under thighs together. 2 more, reach, exhale, close. This is your last one. Breath in. Lower the head, and lower the feet. Now this next one, I want you to practice this one with your head, neck and shoulders remained on the mat. So the focus is on concentration and coordination. So take your time if you need to. Lift the legs, take your hands and let the hands touch the knees. Now again, brace the core, pressing the belly lightly back to the spine. You will take your right arm with your right leg and extend that away. Same on the other side. Right arm, right leg comes back, followed by left, heels together. So let's lead with the left side of the body. We go left arm with left leg, right leads, left returns, right returns. So starting, which side? Yep, right. So we go right, left, right, left returns. So now it must be the left, left, right, left. One more round. Right side leads, left follows, right returns. Now the left flows, left side, left, right. Ooh, and lower the feet. So let's put it together. This time we're going to use the leg pattern and add a rotation. So as I lift the neck and shoulders, hands on the back of the skull, elbows out nice and wide, right leg in, left leg out to a high 45, and your anterior rotation. So I want you to lift and twist and rotate, keep it moving, opposite shoulder, opposite knee, breathing out, focus on your exhale, 4, 3, keep it flowing, 2, last one, right to left, hug your knees to center and roll your body up to a seated position. So hopefully we feel a little bit warmer than when we started. Feet in flexion, chest open, arms stretched out, shoulders back and down. So we've got wide collarbones, arms engaged, legs engaged. Breathe in to prepare. Nod the chin down towards the chest. Exhale, stretch that spine in a forwards direction. Sit up nice and tall, raise your arms once. So you go up with the arms, down with the arms. So you're going to crease when you go forward over your breastbone. The pelvis stays still. So I take the head first, the shoulders move, creasing, curling over that breastbone. Come up to center. This time raise your arms twice. So we go up with the arms, keep the head still, up with the arms. We do one more. Spine stretch forward, head down between the frame of your arms. Reach, stretch that spine forwards. Go a little further than you did before. Sit up tall, raise the arms 3 times, up, down. 2, keep the eye gaze focusing forward. Now when the arms are up, circle the arms around, bring your hands beside your hips, scoop your hips towards your heels. Now if you bring your heels together, so we're anchoring the heels, the feet slightly turn out, hands reach out in front or hands on the back of your thighs, inhale, draw up through your spine, gentle nod of the chin to the chest, then you curl or crease over your breastbone. You roll about halfway down. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, curve the spine. So this is known as a half roll down. We roll halfway down, scoop the belly to the spine, breathe in, lengthen at the top. Exhale, breathing out. So I take time to take a breath in here. Exhale, drawing out. So 4 breaths. Let me count you through it. Breathe in. Lower breath out. Catching the breath on the inhale at the bottom. Exhaling, drawing out. One more. Inhale. Moving back and down on your breath out. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, curl out of it. This time, what if you go all the way down? So gently does it. C curve the spine, lower slowly, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go for a full body stretch. And now just stretch the body out nice and long, point your toes. And in slow motion, you will roll over. So roll over so you lie on your tummy. I'm just going to switch around so that you can see me quite clearly here. And I'll take my hands so that the hands rest just front or forwards of the shoulders. Forearms on the mat, feet wider than the hips but still inside the mat. Toes pressing lightly down top of the feet on the mat. Breathe in and keep a slight bend on the elbows as you bring that spine forwards and up. Slow lower. So we initiate the movement from the center of the body, drawing the chest forwards, extending that spine. Exhale to lower. 3 more repetitions. Breath in. Pull your spine forwards, extend up. Exhale, lower. Last 2. And as I draw up, keeping the elbows soft, chest open, and final 1. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and slowly lower. Now from here, bring the legs a little bit closer. Now they're not so close that they touch. I want to take the arms and reach them behind me, palms pressing down. And as you lift this time, you will do the same movement, but bring your right leg with you. Slowly lower. This time you'll lift the spine and extend and lift that left leg. And we're trying to balance the pelvis here. So I lift, spine, chest, and elevate one leg. So I'm going to lift the front of the body, single straight leg lift, one more round. Right leg leads, slowly. Last one, left leg leads. And as you lower, what if we put it all together? So from this position, I will lift and extend both arms, both legs back behind me. So first lift the chest, the upper half of the body, the lower half of the body lifts with you, and then we lower down. So come on up, breath in, extension of the spine, and slow lower. Last one. Breathe in, squeeze the legs towards each other, lift the chest, and slow lower. Now bring yourself up, hands and knees. If you take your wrist under your shoulders and your knees under your hips, we come into neutral spine position. Looking forwards, bracing the core once again. Extend your right arm with your left leg. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Change sides. Opposites, one arm with the opposite leg. Change. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Try and find some stillness. We might wobble a little. It's quite normal when we move like this. Stabilize. Pausing just a little longer each time you lift the arm and the leg away from the floor. So last one. Inhale. Reach away. Now slow motion. Go back into child's pose. Take a big sigh. Breath out. So exhale fully. And gently bring yourself back to a seated position. So this time, instead of doing a half roll down, which you can come back to, so remember we did this earlier on, you had the feet flat, knees bent, and you can roll back to the mat like this. But this time I'm going to see if I can roll back with the legs straight. So my body's a lot warmer than when I started. Flex the feet, push the heels down into the mat, nod the chin towards the chest, roll down slowly. Inhale, prepare. Exhale. Hands can come on the back of the skull. We roll forwards and down. We then sit up nice and tall, opening the front of the sides of the body, hinging back, exhaling, curling slowly back to the mat. Breath in. Lift as you breathe out. So like a wheel, we roll all the way down and forwards. We open up, we hinge back, we exhale, slowly lower, breathing in. Breathing out. We'll make this one your last one. Roll forwards and down. Open up. Lengthen side body. Hinge back. Slowly C-curve the spine as you lower. The control is the key. When you arrive on the mat, walk your feet back towards you. So let me just scoop myself down so I haven't disappeared out of view. So if you have the feet anchored to the mat, I'm going to practice my bridge, my Pilates bridge. Sometimes in Pilates referred to shoulder stretch. So here the arms are nice and long and straight on the sides of me here, just inside the mat, almost as the upper arms are hugging the outside of the rib cage. Press the feet down quite firmly. Start to lift up the hips, coming up. Hips, pelvis square parallel towards the ceiling, finding some balance between right and left leg. And as the hips go up, the arms drawing behind the back of the body. So getting this beautiful stretch into front of shoulder, front of the chest, and then gently massaging the spine down. So 2 more repetitions, really slow. So we're going to curl the hips. Maybe do this with your eyes closed. So closing the eyes down, lifting up. Really feel that engagement, both the feet pressing into the mat firmly. Inner thighs engaged like the legs are pulling towards each other. And then slowly massage that spine down. 1 more repetition. So I curl the hips off the mat slowly, 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 does it? Keep lifting up. 2, 3, 4, 5. How strong are the feet? Anchor the arms, shoulders back, chest open. Massage the spine slowly down. Now we're going to take that movement and start to lift one leg into tabletop position as we go up. So as I lift the right leg, I'm going to anchor my left foot down, so I push the left foot down, so I draw the right leg up, press the right foot down as I pick the left one up. So focus on the leg that presses into the mat, so the strong leg becomes the one that's anchoring down into the mat. So one leg at a time, pick it up, right, lower, left, lower, pick it up. Nice, strengthen both sides, hips square again. We'll go for one more round. Right leg leads, followed by left, pick it up, and slow lower. Ooh, and knees to chest. Nice little decompress, releasing any tension that might be sitting in your lower back. You can leave your head on the mat or curl your head off the mat. Slowly roll your body up to a seated position. Sit cross-legged. I'm actually going to sit with my right leg in front of my left. Open up the arms, chest open, and you're going to lean. Side body. Create some movement here, breathing in. Inhale, exhale. Now change the leg lead. See if you can do that without putting your arms down. So go the other way. I've got my left leg in front this time, so I'll move to the left. Right, breathe in, up and over. One more. Reach up, working into the sides of your body, and then very gently I'm going to grab my block and I'm going to come onto all fours. Now this is where we're going to transition and come into the yoga part of the practice. So the block always has 3 heights to it. I'm actually using quite a large block, you can get smaller ones. This is always the lowest point. Turn it on its side, second highest, and then turn it this way, the highest point. So we can go low, medium, or high with the block. Now, I'm going to start you in this Japanese sitting pose, sitting in a kneeling position, and if you need to, you take the block, place it between your ankles, and rather than sitting on the feet, you can actually perch your sit bones onto your block. And I've got it at the medium height there, like this, and you can take it all the way up to the highest point, do the same, and have the sit bones just perching on the top. So you can create the same shape, but just using support. I'm going to go without. I prefer just to be without my block, but please use the props when you need them. So let's get into this position. Kneeling, turn your focus inwards, close your eyes, breathing in and breathing out. So in Pilates, the breath is very different to yoga breath. In Pilates, we're always focusing on that forceful, strong, flushing action with the breath out. With the yoga breath, I'm just very calmly breathing in and out through my nose, creating a gentle rhythm and a gentle flow. Softening the shoulders down away from the ears. Relaxing my lower jaw. So some of these yoga poses that I'm going to get you to come into at this part of the practice are not going to be the most comfortable. For some of us they may be. I find it quite comfortable in a kneeling position, but not everybody does. We often think that yoga should be peaceful and relaxing and calming and soft and gentle, but yoga quite often can be challenging, messy, awkward, uncomfortable. And there's a reason I'm really taking you into that space today. Is sometimes to push ourselves out of our comfort zones and to really stretch and grow, we need to work through challenges in our life. And the yoga practice teaches us how to navigate challenging situations by putting ourselves in challenging poses. So just stay just a little while longer in your Japanese sitting pose. And then taking the hands, reaching them out in front, with the hands in a flexed position, spread the fingers. Put your hands down and come up and tuck the toes underneath you. So we're going to transition into a toe squat. And it's really important that you get all of the toes tucked under, including your little toe. I like to have almost my big toes touching in this one. So I'm going to walk my hands back. Now some of you might have the hands still on the floor, rest under your shoulders. We can take our block and rest on the block rather than the floor. So here is quite low. I could come up, maybe you can turn your block to the highest point, and eventually you'll be able to take the hands off the ground and bring the hands to the top of your thighs. So the more weight you take back into the foot, the more challenging this will be. And this works into the arch of the foot. So in a kneeling position, the top of the foot is extended, and here in the toe squat, the sole of the foot is extended. Now this is often quite challenging for people who have tightness in the toes of the feet. So go gentle with yourself, always take the options, and even if you just sit into it, you know, maybe 20-30 seconds, you know, taking yourself gentle through your practice. So this is a pose that even for me, you know, it might look like I look very calm and relaxed. This is really challenging. I'm really feeling every part of my foot. But I'm not in pain. You know, I can tell that because I'm able to breathe, able to maintain my focus. So what I would get you to do is start in a pose like this that can be quite challenging, confronting, and just give yourself maybe 30 seconds, 20 seconds at most, and try and just extend it gently over time. A couple more rounds of my breath. And then place the hands down and tap the feet out just to get the circulation flow. So tap it out lightly, tap, 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 tap. Feet on the floor just to get the circulation flowing into my feet. And then come back with a big sigh, child's pose. Now again, if you want to take your block, place your block and rest your forehead on it, or just simply take your head all the way down and rest your forehead onto your mat, onto a blanket or a cushion. So just take a couple more rounds of your breath right here. And gently bring yourself up. But we're coming into a kneeling position and stepping the right leg forwards. Now I'm going to take my block for this one. So I'm going to lunge and step the right leg forwards. So you have roughly a straight line from knee to ankle. I'm actually going to place the block on the inside of that front foot and slide the back leg away. So you'll notice I have this straight line knee to ankle, but the back knee is not underneath my hip, but it's behind the back of the hip. Now I'm going to lean my upper body, my arms, and rest onto this bolster, or rather the block, and just settle into this. Now this is called the dragon pose, and it can be quite challenging, and again it's one of these poses that can be really confronting. So we're working into the flexion and the extension through your hips. Now when you walk, an everyday movement that we all do, when we walk we use flexion and extension, but it's not this extreme. That most people have problems with walking. You know, they might dominate with one side of their body, they might walk with a slight limp, or there might be old injuries in the body. So if we can work into poses like this, it can help to improve not only our posture and our alignment in our body, but how we stand and how we walk. So it's confronting and challenging. You might feel like the energy starts to build up around the hips, and that might feel like it's transferring and bringing tension into your jaw or around your neck or your shoulders. So every time you feel the build up of that tension, open your mouth and with a big sigh, let it go. Breathing in, and with your big exhale, hence why it gets the name the dragon pose, because just as the dragon breathes fire out of its mouth, if you feel the build up of that intense energy in your body, open your mouth and imagine that you're breathing out that fire, you're releasing it, letting it go. Breathing in and breathing out. So one more round of your breath. Big sigh. And shift. I'm going to move my hips and my pelvis. Take the tips of the fingers to the floor and come into a little counter stretch. I know that you'll notice as the front leg is straight, and I'm just moving my hips, my pelvis towards the back end of the mat, but I'm still looking forwards. Now this gives us a light release. Drag the front foot underneath you, and from kneeling, step the other leg forwards. So step that other leg and try and land that foot lightly. So here's my block. I'm going to place it here so it almost lines up with that front foot, in line with my heel. Slide the back leg away. You can place a blanket or a cushion under that back knee if you've got a very delicate knee joint, so there's not too much weight going down through that knee at the back. So using your block, you don't have to use a block, you know, the floor works just as well. You can take your hands, almost the fingers and the toes line up. But I've brought both arms on the inside of that front leg, just to allow myself to create a little bit more range of movement through the hips. So most of us in this pose, not everybody, feels it most as a dynamic stretch in the front of your hip flexor of that back leg. So you might feel it here. I often really feel it challenging in the hip flexor at the back of my front leg. So we'll settle in, and the focus is your breath. Focusing on those breaths out. Breathing in and breathing out. I sort of feel myself sort of losing my balance a little bit just with that one. And it is quite challenging for our balance, this pose. There's no need to force your body into the shape. Really what I'm just letting is gravity kind of take over. I'm sinking the hips and just letting them soften and open. And the key is just to focus on my breath and allow myself to be present and be still for as long as I can. Let's just take a couple more rounds of your breath here. Breathing in and breathing out. Long breath out, and then the aha, the release comes in this moment where we shift the hips, the pelvis back, little pause, focus forward, and I'm just throwing the arms forward and just resting lightly on the tips of the fingers, again, just to help with my balance. Drag that front foot back behind you, lower your body all the way down towards the floor, and just gently turn your head to one side. Now the arms can go behind me, head can rest on one side, breathe in, breathe out. In slow motion, gently lift the head and then slowly rotate and turn that head the other way. And I love this, it's so simple, but it's sometimes just what my neck needs, just a little bit of movement and just a gentle stretch from one side to the other. Gently bring it back to the centre. Use the hands. Again, come up into child's pose, but maybe take a different option this time. I'm going to bring my knees a little closer. You can either take the arms out to the side or take your arms behind you. So I'm just going to rest back into that child's pose, just to help calm my nervous system, to slow my energy down. Beautiful forward flexion. Breathing in and breathing out. Now slowly bring yourself up and let's transition all the way down towards the back. So I'm going to come around. Now I'm going to still use a prop for this next one, so I'm going to keep my block close at hand. You can use your cushion or a blanket. Roll yourself down and with a big sigh, just land here. Just maybe a couple of rounds of your breath. And that just feels so good, just to let the arms and the legs become heavy on the mat. Sometimes it's not the movements, but the stillness that becomes the real powerhouse in our yoga practice. As you walk your feet back towards your body, I'm just going to adjust myself. Bring myself down so you can just get a bit of visual here. I'm going to come into what I call a neutral spine position. So the feet are flat, the knees are bent, head, neck and shoulders and the arms supported on the ground by my mat. Now I'm going to take my block. Now remember there's 3 different heights. Remember this is the lowest and then you can turn it, second highest and then up here really high. So I'm going to go for the middle range, this one. And lift up my hips and take that block and put it underneath the pelvis. Now if you're not sure where your pelvis is, on the side here are your hip bones, your hip joint, and if you move to the front and travel up, in the front of the body here you'll find these 2 pelvic bones that jut out more at the front, just kind of below your waistline. If you follow that around, that is quite a flat surface and the block will just kind of sit there quite comfortably and I can feel space between my lower back and the floor. Now this is called supported bridge. Arms nice and wide but still hands lower than the heart, palms rotated up. And this might be just all your body needs. I'm just going to shift the angles here because what I want to do is show you a slightly different variation. Is I'm going to actually slide my legs away. So known as the pontoon. Now again, this can be really confronting and quite challenging. And like your dragon pose, this is going to work into the front of the hips, but also the front of the chest, the front of the belly, the front of the shoulders. So if it feels too much with the legs straight, you can always try it, stay for, 10, 15, 20 seconds. And over time, as you start to introduce your body to being in this shape, it might start to gradually become a little bit more comfortable being there, but give yourself time, never rush it. So you might choose to close your eyes, turn your focus inwards. Remember, if you don't have a block or a bolster at home, then you can just as easily take a blanket, you can take a cushion, roll the cushion or fold it in half and place that under your pelvis. So long as I can feel this space at the spine, there's space between my back and the floor, the pelvis is being supported, the shoulders being supported, and the ankles and the feet being supported. Gently walk your feet back towards your body. I'm going to come back into supported bridge, which is where we started. Now, if you were already here, you might just start and navigate your way out of your supported bridge. I'm just going to stay just a few minutes longer just to let my body settle here. And slowly, and this can feel quite challenging. When you remove the bolster and lower the back down, that's quite often where we feel the biggest challenge there. I'm going to take my feet wide and just let the knees drop in together. So I've taken the knees wider than the hips. The knees can lightly press together. Again, big sigh. And then once you feel that the pelvis and the lower back has settled out of that pose, then you can slowly slide the legs away as you rest your body into your Savasana. You can place a blanket over your body. Let your body be still and rested as long as you can. Now slowly start to move the fingers. Maybe just gently move your toes. Walk the feet back towards you, and I'm going to roll you over onto your side body, come into fetal position. Slowly use the arms, the hands to support your body and bring yourself up to a rested, either a seated or a kneeling position. Take whatever you need. And let's bring this practice to an end today. So I'm going to bring the hands into heart prayer position. As I raise the hands and bow my head to the earth, I say to you, Namaste. Now let me know how that went for you. It was probably quite a challenging and confronting practice. I blended about 20 minutes of Pilates with 20 minutes of yoga. A very all-round practice, but maybe a challenging one, maybe a confronting one. Let me know. Please send me feedback on how it went. And you can always spend just a little bit longer in your Savasana. You can turn off the video and spend an extra 5 or 10 minutes in your own Savasana. Hope you enjoyed that. Until next time.